Greg Cote hangs on. He tends to hang on to some old-fashioned values every once in a while in sports. Stugotz, he clutches his pearls, and so you can find yourself in a place where he is he's indignant because Spencer Rattler now has the rights to just go to South Carolina, to say, bleep this at Oklahoma, and we are in the wild, wild west now of Shane Beamer, Frank Beamer's kid, can just steal your quarterback, Oklahoma.
He's a Gamecock?
He is now.
Really?
Crazy. It's insane.
He was the Heisman favorite before this season. The favorite to win the most prestigious award anywhere in sports is now playing at South Carolina. Who's their coach? Anyone?
I just told you.
He had just told you.
I just said it.
I wasn't listening.
Like,
I was rattled by the news.
How could that be that I just...
Yeah.
Yes. My boy.
What?
Oh, that's harsh. Where's your Christmas spirit?
Why are you indignant about this, Greg Cote?
Well,
because I don't remember you being indignant about the Hurricanes getting De'Ara King.
I'm indignant. I hate the transfer portal except when it benefits my team. But in all seriousness, it's bad for sports. It's bad for sports. I like the continuity. If you're a fan of a team, you should have the knowledge that, okay, I have a great freshman quarterback. I know I'm going to have him for at least 3 years. And it's killed college basketball. It's one of the things that drove Krzyzewski into retirement is the idea that the one and done in college basketball has hurt the game. And now football is doing the same thing. It's bad. It's just, you can't defend that it's good for the sport.
Oh, I can, and I'm about to, because
it's good for the athlete.
The sport has been great, but it can be all these things. It doesn't have to be one of them. I don't have to choose. Mike Leach is out here giving voice to any player who opts out of a bowl game. He's calling it one of the biggest absurdities he's ever seen. He says you owe it to your team, your fans, and your coaches to play in that game. In other words, you owe it to everyone other than yourself. Right. Your team, your fans, your coaches. But if it protects your body and your professional investment, then no. And what I would say to you and everyone listening to this is stop thinking of it as amateurism right now, please. It's never been amateurism, but it ain't amateurism anymore. Like Sampson and Skipper are telling you, soon it's going to be $3 million or $5 million for a college quarterback. If you want your program to succeed and you want Archie Manning's kid, soon, very soon, as the boosters get involved and as the injustice continues of using these bodies for profit for television and then asking the boosters and others to cover your labor, good God, I want that deal for Meadowlark Media, please. Right. Give me somebody or something that's so precious, that Greg Cote makes so precious, amateurism, when that ship sailed years ago. It's now, it's just now that you're seeing it.
I've come to grips with the idea that amateurism is dead. I don't mind the name, image, likeness thing, the NIL. I think if you have the stature to make money as a college quarterback, go ahead and do it. I'm against the idea that you sign a scholarship and a year later, you're like ripping that up and going to another school.
Are you against Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley able to do the same thing, or that's okay?
I don't think that's okay either. I think you fulfill a commitment unless it's a mutual parting. And unless Notre Dame wants to get rid of somebody, then that's fine. Unless the guy has a contract, he shouldn't be gotten rid of.
Dan, here's where it gets sticky. Rattler has an opportunity for himself to go to South Carolina, a school he never wanted to go to. Now he gets to go there, and he gets to reinvent himself.
How do you know?
Because he went to Oklahoma.
But
okay, but
you don't know.
No, but early signing week, you usually have a top 5.
Okay, maybe it was in his top 5. He didn't choose to go there.
You're just speaking definitively, like you know.
Well, he didn't go there, so maybe it's in his top 5. You're right, but he didn't go there.
You just flatly. I don't want to get.
I'm doubting South Carolina was one of his top final 5 schools.
Okay,
so he obviously wanted to play for Shane Beamer because Shane Beamer was at Oklahoma,
right?
And Rattler and a very good tight end, by the way, have gone to South Carolina to play with Shane Beamer. So he obviously valued playing for Shane Beamer.
I'm not saying what he did is wrong. I'm just saying this is where it gets sticky. There is a kid who chose to go to South Carolina to play quarterback who no longer has that opportunity. And maybe it doesn't bother you, and maybe it doesn't bother Dan, but it does bother some people that kids have the ability to do that. No,
Correct.
Mike, if it was your kid playing a college sport.
Stugotz, he chose to play for Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley left him at the altar. Lincoln Riley also benched him during the year.
And there's a kid who chose to play for South Carolina.
And he's going to have an opportunity
Stugotz,
to play for
He's not beating that quarterback
Screw
out.
him. Screw that kid.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys, what you guys are, this is fascinating.
You're upset about sports?
I feel bad for the other kids.
No, what's interesting is he wants it changed by Rattler and not Beamer, who switched teams. Like, you want it changed by the kid, not
I don't want anything. I'm just saying this is where it gets sticky for a lot of people.
You don't want management to fix how dirty that business is. Like, you just saw Brian Kelly, Lincoln Riley. Like, the money, the business is going to the SEC right now. Everyone's going to the SEC. Shane Rattler realizes, oh, look, I could team up with a person I believe in at South Carolina and go play minor league professional football in the SEC for a program that if I can reinvent South Carolina, I go from Heisman favorite to guy who gets run out of Oklahoma because he's not good enough to reinventing myself in the SEC. And now I'll have a narrative game against Oklahoma, perhaps. In somewhere in the future.
Oklahoma could even jump this offseason.
Yeah, but when Greg's saying it's not great for the sport, what you're having now is a bunch of kids. Like, there's a kid who committed to South Carolina to play quarterback as a freshman. Now he's going to enter the transfer portal because
I get it.
He's going to sit for another year.
Stugotz, there have been kids that commit to schools all the time that never get to play.
I'm okay with what Rattler did. I'm okay with all of it. I know what college football is all about. I'm just saying that's where it gets sticky and uncomfortable for a lot of people.
You're not wrong about that. But what I'm telling you is the adjustment to that can't be to just inhibit the freedoms of the kid because you don't like that. You've got to, this has been a thing, Stugotz, for so many years, never mind paying players and all the things that have fallen during the pandemic and everything. For years across sports television, decades across sports television, what you would hear is, it's not fair that these coaches can change teams and get a pay raise without consequences, leaving behind these same kids, these same recruiting classes, and that the players don't have the same freedom. What you're presently objecting to, as sticky is, all right, bleep it. Amateurism's over. Everybody gets the freedom. And you guys are clinging to your pearls on, please let me keep it the way it was. And the way it was unjust is because everybody, bowl commissioners, everybody, NCAA president, please keep it precious. Please keep it unjust. It profits everyone. And the players are now, no, where's ours? Like, give us our money. And as soon as that happens, then the fans are like, ooh, this doesn't feel like rah-rah anymore. This feels uncomfortably like business. This is, ew, dirty, players, you fix it.
But what you're arguing for, what you feel bad about is, okay, say there was a commit, and let's just bypass the fact that there's a recruiting cycle every year. And every year a head coach is looking to replace you and upgrade at the position with high school recruits. What you're omitting when you're feeling bad for the South Carolina quarterback that's second on the depth chart and by seniority thinks he's destined to be the starting quarterback is, now Rattler comes into this program. Unexpected, yes. Well, guess what that poor South Carolina Gamecock quarterback now has available to him? The ability to leave and improve his situation, penalty-free.
Yeah, but maybe South Carolina was the best situation for that particular kid. Oklahoma has the ability, Mike, they did it, right? To recruit multiple quarterbacks who could win the Heisman Trophy. They had 2 on their roster this year. One of them can play. The other one who doesn't play gets to go somewhere else and take another kid's job who actually wanted to go to South Carolina.
Well, what you're lamenting is the solution for this hypothetical quarterback that you feel so bad about now. He has an escape hatch. He can go and handpick the best possible situation for him this very year, penalty-free.
Yeah, but the quarterback at South Carolina probably doesn't have a better situation than South Carolina. Where's he going to go? Is he coming to Miami?
Okay, all right, let's just do this, okay, Stugotz? You care very deeply about the kid at Carolina whose name you do not know, who's faceless victim here. Like, you care. Let's just establish. Your point is established.
What's happening, if I could say this for a second, is it's trickling down to other sports. And my daughter's about to become a college athlete, and it's annoying.
I gathered as much. I gathered that, of course, it's rooted in some sort of selfish interest of yours.
As it should be.
It's established. You feel very bad for this kid whose name you do not know.
Yeah.
Well,
on a program whose coach you did not know, even though we said it.
I still don't know.
Seconds earlier.
It's an evolution and a revolution because the college scholarship no longer means anything. National Signing Day
It never meant anything.
No longer
Greg.
means anything.
The college
Of course it
scholarship
did.
never. No, Jimmy Johnson told players you're on a year-to-year evaluation, and I decide whether I re-up you or not. Nick Saban would cut scholarship athletes like you wouldn't believe year over year. It's one thing if the coaches themselves are handling this commitment like a firm 4-year commitment to improve you as a person
Right.
and the betterment of your livelihood beyond just going to this school. That's not what they did.
There's no doubt that the transfer portal benefits the top players. It gives them freedom. But my initial question to you, and it remains, it may be great for some of these players. Is it great for the sport?
Well, this is why I say it will be great for the sport. So hear me out on this, because it requires you to take a 10-year look at what's happening right now in front of your eyes. The XFL, all these leagues where they failed, it's about to succeed. It's going to be the SEC minor league network of football that is the closest entry to the pros that you have, with all the tradition of Auburn and Alabama and Oklahoma and Texas, and everyone's rushing over there, and you're about to see a minor league of football grow right in front of your eyes. Everyone else is going to scramble for where the pieces are left on the great white shark, the remora fish. But you're going to see the entire landscape change, in a minor league football league that's a hell of a lot more professional than amateur, which has been for a long time, is going to come out of its camouflage, and you're going to see it's going to be run like an empire, because it ain't going to fail like the XFL. It's going to be a monster. All SEC things, it's only going to get bigger and stronger. The more Kiffins and Leaches come in, and now you got free agents. You got mercenaries. I think in 10 years, you're going to have fantasy ball. Fantasy ball is going to be where the minor leagues are, because of how your minor league already exists, and it's going to be bigger than it's ever been when it's just the SEC.
The portal benefits everybody. Michigan State had a roster turnover of close to half their roster, and they embrace the portal. It's not just the kids coming in. In some respects, it's the kids leaving, because that frees you up, and that opens another space for the next guy. What happened at Charleston Rainbow this year was awesome. You're talking about a guy that felt like he didn't have the opportunity to shine at Oklahoma. What does he do? He puts in his name in the transfer portal, and he sets a record for the University of Miami. Having faith in himself, I think that shit is awesome.
It's unbelievable to watch that anyone would have any objection to it, while clutching to what amateurism used to be is startling to me, because you should root for the professionalization of all of this. You should. It's only going to keep getting bigger and better the more Alabamas there are. If everyone's trying to topple Alabama, you eliminate the veneer of this has never been about skull. It's been about academics.
So in your vision, there's going to be a Power 1 conference. There's not going to be a Power 5.
People are going
the
to
ACC disappears.
No,
what is your vision?
People are objecting to this because, of course, they want Michigan and Penn State and all those things to matter, and they will just be lower levels of the minor leagues. There's going to be a 12-team playoff. There's going to be more and more television money. There's going to be more and more streaming money, and more money to dispense allows Miami to get in the game with Cristobal. If you really look at this up to now, honestly, let's think about this. 20 programs in the country are like really, really fighting to be great at football. Is it 30? 30? Your minor league is already built. All you got to do is just strip the library away from it and just make everybody LSU. I know people are going to get uncomfortable with that because they wanted to tell you about the regional rah-rah and the marching bands, but it seems like that's what's just been fast-forwarded by the pandemic.
What about Luke Doty, though? What is he going to do? I mean, that's the South Carolina quarterback who's from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, wanted to stay home, committed 4 years to the university he's always wanted to go to as a kid. He's played 2 seasons, and now it's over. Why? Because Spencer Rattler wasn't good enough to play at Oklahoma.
Yeah, not over.
I mean,
in previous incarnations of the sport, it would be over.
Poor Doty.
But now Doty can go to Coastal Carolina and come in as a hotshot guy that was committed to South Carolina, the state school, and ride it out with a very good mid-major program.
But
in
Doty
Coastal
wanted to go
Carolina.
to South Carolina and
Commit
play for
to
a bad
Doty.
SEC team.
Well, what
I
if he got
mean,
benched in South Carolina? So you want him to just sit on the bench instead of getting to go somewhere else and be able to play?
Did
Well,
just get benched, and
He
now he has
did.
an out.
He just got benched. He was the starter. Now he's benched. I mean, poor kid from Myrtle Beach, South
Yeah.
Carolina.
I'm sure
Wanted
he
to
did-
stay home.
This
I mean,
kid probably disagrees with you. He's probably trying to transfer somewhere,
but
and you're trying to stop him.
he's very upset, Doty.
I love that Stugotz is like a mother hen protecting South Carolina's wronged, innocent
Yes.
quarterback.
Luke Doty.
But what I'm asking the rest
Big
of
year
you,
last year.
I'm asking all of you here. I'm not making fun of this. You're right, Stugotz. You're correct. It isn't fair that a kid, it's not fair. It does not feel fair according to the standards that we have. It might be according to meritocracy and commerce, but that it should be that cold for a kid who believes in his school as Bo Nix transfers. As Bo Nix
Hey,
transfers.
he got a diploma from Auburn.
But
He's different.
I want to ask you guys if you don't get excited by all of the infants and toddlers and innocence and purity that gets crushed by what I'm telling you, which is in the future, what it's going to be basically is the SEC is the AAA of football. And then the Michigans and the Ohio States and the Kansas states are going to be AA of college football. And then single A is the MAC and MACtion on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And it's going to be formatted like a minor league system like baseball. Don't you get excited about a kid and all innocents getting crushed under that?
So you're going to have, as I envision it, a 45-team SEC, because everybody's going to want to get into the premier.
They already are.
college league.
They already are.
about to become that.
Oklahoma and
There's going to be a
Texas.
super league, and I don't know what the plan is with this alliance between Big Ten, Pac-12, and ACC, other than just don't try to seal our schools. But it's eventually going to get there, and you're already seeing the ramifications of this in the transfer portal and recruiting as early signing day approaches tomorrow. Teams are opting for smaller recruiting classes. Let me get 6 blue chippers, and I'll see who's made themselves worth chasing in the portal.
But, Mike, you say Luke Doty, just go to Coastal Carolina. And let me ask you this. Then what do you do with Grayson McCall,
Oh, no.
who was born in Indian Trail, North Carolina?
no,
Always
Grayson,
wanted to attend that school.
no.
Decided to go. Had other decisions, had other choices, and he went to Coastal Carolina.
You're
Yes.
so right.
I mean, how do you tell Grayson McCall that?
Right.
Huh?
But Stugotz, eventually it's going to trickle down to somebody who just wasn't good enough.
We're not going to fix this.
No,
We're just going to
Stugotz
feel
has it
bad
right.
for Grayson.
I can't wait to hear
Maybe the
Stugotz.
Oklahoma quarterback wasn't good enough. That's the problem.
I can't wait to hear you if your daughter happens to get benched at Northwestern.
Oh, forget it.
He's going to be the worst. The way he's going to rip the coach on
Because someone transferred who didn't want to go to
just saying,
Northwestern in the first place.
If your
Oh, forget
daughter
it.
then wants to go somewhere else, I feel like you're going to feel differently about
he's
it.
In this scenario, he's saying your daughter's not good enough and gets benched, and you will have her.
How
transferring.
about you be good enough at the school you chose to go to? How does that sound? Huh?
All right, apply that to Luke Doty.
You
Tony
trapped
is
him!
good enough.
You trapped him. You trapped him.
Say-
No,
Luke
Tony
Doty.
went to South Carolina. He didn't transfer.
He's
Rattler, if Rattler wanted to be good enough and never have his
pinned.
job in
You
jeopardy,
got pinned.
he'd go to the
You got
Gamecocks.
Just
You got
undid
pinned.
your
How?
all the right
argument.
things?
Not even
Doty
close.
did all the right things.
Doty did it the right way. Rattler's doing it the wrong
Yes.
way by
Yes.
being bad and transferring to a worse school and a worse football program. Why? Because he can't play for the good one.
Quitter.
That's correct. Greg Doty is what they used to call me, by the way. Spencer Rattler should have transferred to Florida A&M. The Florida A&M Rattlers.
That would have been all right.
Greg Doty.
That's what they used to call me. After the dodo bird. Greg Dodo. I liked Greg Doty better. I really did.
Greg Doty was great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The whole fabric of America is rending.
Yeah.
Stugotz is exactly right.
It's over.
What are you doing? I love that.